Hello, everybody. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series Nails in the Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. Well, today we're finishing up the Urban Legend trilogy with Urban Legends Bloody Mary. Here's a quick summary of the average nails in a coffin for the first two movies. Urban Legend had an average of 1.3 nails in a coffin, and Urban Legend's Final Cut had an average of 2 nails in a coffin. This movie was directed by Mary Lambert, who also directed the first two Pet Sematary movies. This movie was also released direct to video, unlike its first two predecessors. So, everybody, thank you for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. And let me know in the comments down below what you think. And also hit that like button and subscribe as well. I would really appreciate it. So, thanks everybody. Sit back, relax, and let's put some nails in a coffin for Urban Legends Bloody Mary. For our first kill, we open up in 1969 with three high school football players who are trying to drug their prom dates. The plan works for two of the prom dates, but the third, Mary, she sees what's happening and she doesn't like it, so she tries to run away to escape. Her date chases her back into the school and she runs into a storage room. He catches up to her. He's trying to calm her down, holding her, but that he then grabs her arms and tries to assault her. She bites him on the hand, and he's obviously very not too happy about this. So, since he's a jerk, he punches her. She falls down, hits her head, and dies. Her date is a real scumbag. He panics and then hides her body in a trunk in the storage room. Our first kill in the movie is Mary, and I'm giving Mary 3 nails in a coffin. She saw something was wrong right away when she saw her friends drugged when the other prom dates were trying to get them into their car. She knew something was wrong. She knew she wasn't going to go with her date. She had to go get some help. She kicked him in the crotch and ran away. The only thing I saw she probably did wrong was she cornered herself in the storage room when she probably should have ran back into the gym. But I'm really not going to take points off for her for that because she kicked him in the crotch. She ran. She knew something was wrong. She had to go get some help. And, she bit him on the hand when he tried to assault her. So she wasn't going to be a victim. Unfortunately for her, her prom date was an asshole. And he punched her. She fell down, hit her head, and died. But she did fight hard. She wasn't going to be a victim. And for that, Mary, our first kill in the movie, she's getting a solid 3 nails in the coffin. Our next death is Roger. He's in his car about to go do some tanning. He arrives at the tanning salon. He's sitting in his car and takes 2 pills. I couldn't make out what the pills were, and I don't think we ever really find out. So he takes the pills, he's flirting with the receptionist, and he goes inside the tanning bed. He pulls it down, and the tanning bed receptionist puts the power level at 2 and walks away. Well, the spirit of Bloody Mary increases the power level to max, and he can't get out of it, and the tanning bed pretty much just cooks Roger to death, burning him. Even though the spirit of Bloody Mary is the one who increased the power level of the tanning bed, I'm still going to give Roger 1 nail in the coffin. The tanning bed does not lock. Plus, there were large openings at the foot and at the head of the tanning bed. And when we see the temperature go up, it doesn't look like Roger even tries to do anything to get out of the tanning bed. We get no indication that it was locked shut and he couldn't push it open, or why he didn't slide down to the bottom to get out the large opening by his feet or by his head. We didn't really see him do anything but kind of just thrash around a little bit. So I'm definitely going to give him 1 nail in the coffin. And as bad as he was burned, he was in there for a while. So he had some time to get out of there that the tanning bed couldn't have cooked him that fast. So for all those reasons, Roger, you definitely deserve 1 nail in the coffin. Next up is Heather. While she's sleeping, she gets a spider bite on her cheek from a really bad-looking CGI spider that crawls out of a doll's mouth. She wakes up in the morning and she looks in the mirror and sees her cheek, looks like a really bad zit that her cheek is swollen. She tries to pop it. It oozes on the mirror. It's kind of gross. But then she sees some movement under her cheek and more really horribly looking CGI spiders crawl out of her face, and they're crawling all over her body. She's freaking out and panicking, and as she's thrashing about, her head slams into her stand-up mirror, and then she's on the floor and she has 2 big, large shards of glass in her face. She kind of pulls the shards out really poorly, and she falls down to the door, probably bleeding to death. Or I think it's more likely she just died from really bad looking CGI. A third kill in the movie, Heather, I'm giving her one nail in the coffin. Not her fault that, she got bitten by a CGI spider and all this make-believe stuff crawled out of her face. But she smashed her whole head into the mirror while she was panicking. And she had shards of glass in the top of her forehead. But if you rewatch it and you see the way that she pulled those shards out, she pulls them forward instead of pulling them up. And this causes part of her face to peel off, even though it looks really bad. And I think she probably bled to death from this. She probably could have handled this situation a lot better. All she did really was panic. And yeah, for that, I'm just going to have to give Heather one nail in the coffin. Our next kill is Tom. He's drinking while he's driving his truck, jerk. And while he's driving, he sees the ghost of Bloody Mary in the middle of the road. He freaks out and pulls over. He gets out of his car. He doesn't really see anything. So he goes to the bed of his truck, pulls a beer out of the cooler, and then goes to use the bathroom on the side of the road. He's peeing on this large metal fence with signs that say high voltage. But it doesn't sway him at all. He's peeing on this fence, and then we see the ghost of Bloody Mary turning the power on the fence. It gets powered up and electrified. Tom is still peeing on it. His pee hits the fence, and then he flies back electrocuted, and his crotch explodes, and he is dead now. Tom, this moron is definitely going to get one nail in the coffin. He was peeing on an electric fence, and he knew it was electrified because he even poured beer on a sign that said high voltage. Even if he knew the fence was powered off for whatever reason, why would anybody pee on a metal fence with a sign on it that says high voltage anywhere near it? All Mary had to do was turn the power on, and, obviously he doesn't know how electricity works. So he really was dumb in this. I didn't see anything he did. He was a moron. Peeing anywhere near a fence with the sign that says high voltage on it. Totally stupid. When you're stupid like that, you're definitely going to get one nail in the coffin. Buck is the fifth kill in the movie. He's staying at a hotel. He falls asleep, and then he wakes up to the sound of a dripping sound. He goes to investigate. He looks inside the closet and sees the bloodied corpse of his dog. He freaks out and tries to get out of the hotel room as soon as possible. But the door is locked. He can't open it. He's backing up, and then his feet are grabbed from somebody underneath the bed, and it trips him. It is a demonic Mary, and he's on the floor freaking out. Mary crawls out from underneath the bed, crawls on top of him. He punches her once or twice, but it's to no avail. She picks up the bottle that he was drinking out of, smashes it on the side of his head. It's all broken and jagged now, and she just stabs him in the neck multiple times, killing him. You don't see a lot of Bucks in film and television. The only ones I can really think of off the top of my head are Buck Rogers and Buck Bundy. But this Buck, I'm going to give him two nails in the coffin. As soon as he saw the bloody dog in the closet, he knew to get out of the room as soon as possible. It was locked or jammed shut. He couldn't get out of it. He got grabbed from somebody underneath the bed. It was a demon Mary. He did try and fight. He did try and punch the demon, but it was a demon Mary, so it wasn't going to work pretty much no matter what he did. And, he had a jagged bottle stabbed into his throat multiple times, killing him. I think two nails in a coffin is pretty fair for Buck. He definitely doesn't deserve one nail in the coffin because he did try and get out of the room and he did try and punch Mary. But I don't think he did enough for three nails in a coffin. So two nails in a coffin is definitely fair for good old Buck. The next person to get nailed is David. He was doing some research to try and find out who the ghost of Mary, who else she could be after. He finds out the information and he goes home to tell his sister Sam. While he's looking around the house, he's kind of suspicious because there's nobody there. And he gets surprised from behind by somebody, a hooded figure, and they wrap a plastic bag over his head. He's struggling, thrashing around a bit, but there's not much else David can do, and he's suffocated by having this plastic bag wrapped around his head, and we don't really know yet who this hooded figure is that kills David. David earns himself a solid two nails in a coffin. He was in his house, and he was cautious of his surroundings because you see him pick up a baseball bat and looking around the house because he couldn't find his sister Sam there. And he was surprised from behind by this hooded figure, and they just wrapped this plastic bag over his head, suffocating him. He was struggling. He was trying to get free. Yeah, he probably could have tried to, his arms weren't really pinned. They were trying to, get the bag from around his throat. He could have tried to rip the plastic bag. So that's why I'm not going to give him 3 nails in a coffin. But since he was in his house, surprised from behind and overpowered, David, you're definitely going to get 2 nails in the coffin. Bill is the final kill in Urban Legends Bloody Mary. He's at a graveyard with Sam, his stepdaughter, and she has the remains of Mary that she actually found in the trunk from the beginning of the movie. Since they have her remains, if they researched and they found out that if they give her remains a proper burial, maybe the curse of Bloody Mary will be broken. So Bill is there helping his daughter Sam dig the hole for Mary. Well, Sam hears something and she looks around. Bill's asking her questions. Who else have you told about this and whatnot? And if you've seen a movie, you know what's happening. As soon as Sam turns around, Bill hits her with the shovel, knocking her down. And his plan right now is to kill her. Since Bill, who is her stepfather, was the football player at the beginning of the movie that killed Bloody Mary. He's about to kill her with the shovel, but Grace is able to save Sam, giving her a chance to go run away. But during a struggle between Bill and Grace, Bill is able to subdue Grace by knocking her out. Bill catches up to Sam and he knocks her down. He's about to kill her with the shovel, probably planning on decapitating her. Well, instead of doing it right away, like all killers in slasher movies, he wastes a whole bunch of time talking about the whys and everything else. Well, while he's talking, before he has a chance to kill Sam, the human form of Mary steps out from behind the gravestone, and Bill's like kind of stunned when he first sees her. She goes over to Bill. They kiss. Bill doesn't know what to think right now. Well, before Bill can really even do anything, Mary turns into her ghostly form, grabs Bill. They turn into some more really bad CGI, not sure what it's supposed to be. She grabs Bill, and then she drags him with her into the grave, and then they disappear. Our final nails for this entire trilogy goes to Bill, and he's only going to get 1 nail in the coffin. All of his actions resulting in him getting killed. He killed Mary, tried to cover it up, didn't own up to any of his crimes, and he then tried to he killed his stepson, and he tried to kill his stepdaughter, again, to try and cover up his crimes. So not only does he deserve his fate, he definitely deserves 1 nail in the coffin for all of his actions. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in the coffin for Urban Legends Bloody Mary. So let's give a summary. Mary, I gave her 3 nails in the coffin. She didn't deserve her fate, but she did try and escape. She did try and fight. Definitely earned those 3 nails. Roger couldn't get himself out of a tanning bed. He gets 1 nail in the coffin. Heather, also 1 nail in the coffin. Tom, peeing on an electric fence or a metal fence with a sign that says high voltage anywhere near it, definitely going to get 1 nail in the coffin. Buck, he gets 2 nails in the coffin. David, he was surprised from behind and overpowered. He's going to get 2 nails in the coffin. And Bill, all of his actions led to his fate, his death. He definitely deserves that 1 nail in the coffin. So for Urban Legends Bloody Mary, we have an overall average of 1.6 nails in the coffin. Here's a quick summary of the averages for all 3 films in the trilogy. Urban Legend had an average of 1.3 nails in the coffin. Urban Legends Final Cut had an average of 2 nails in the coffin. And Urban Legends Bloody Mary had an average of 1.6 nails in the coffin. I want to thank everybody for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. And if you like what you saw, please hit that like button down below and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I reply to all the comments, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, I would love if you subscribe to this channel. I put a video out every Friday, and I just started a new series, Horror Movie Superlatives, and those videos are out every Wednesday now, and I'm having a lot of fun with that series with my good friend, Carla Cook. So I hope you go check it out, and I really do appreciate it. I'm not sure what film I'm going to cover next. I do have a plan for movies I'm going to start covering in May. So I have a little bit of a gap to fill. Not sure what I'm going to cover next. But next week's Nails in the Coffin video, it should be a short one because it's just going to be a recap of the trilogy where I give you my Golden Nail Awards for all the kills. So I hope you guys check it out, and I really hope to see you there. I do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Take care of each other. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.